Welcome to Ken's Corner Podcast, Season 3. Get ready for expert analysis and rising wrestling stars. Now here we go with your host, Ken Judge.
Hey everyone, it's been a long time, it seems, 2 weeks, but I am back, and we're here on Ken's Corner with Sports Chatter and my Sports Chatter team. We're going to do a roll call around the room, all the way from Nova Scotia with a new name, Mr. Greener, Iian Greener, guys.
How you doing, guys?
Hey.
We're going to go to the other coast, well, almost, all the way to Calgary with that beautiful Ken's Corner t-shirt on. George, all the way out there in Calgary. Welcome back to the show.
Going, guys.
JT, up there in Thunder Bay. I've been watching this crazy Prime show. I think I mentioned it to you the other day.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm learning a lot about Thunder Bay. Anyway, JT, welcome back.
I wouldn't follow up on that much, but hey, peace.
Yeah, that's true. It seems, you know what? I get a lot of good looks of your city, so it seems like a beautiful place. Phil from Parts Unknown in Durham. How are you today, sir?
How's it going, boys? Glad to be back.
And from the downtown heart of Leafland, Mr. Gord. How are you, Gordon Bell?
I'm good today, and how are you guys?
Great, buddy.
All right, well, we're just going to dive right into it. Some of us got some kind of corner shirts. JT, yours, I know you just bought an extra one. Yours is in progress to getting to you. Gord, we haven't yet met up in Toronto, but I do have a shirt for you. And Phil, just go on over to your parents. You have them over there. Ian has our second one on here, if everyone wants to take a look. That was actually graphic designed by Ian himself. All right. Last time we were on here, guys, we did our Canadian team. Mm-hmm. So in the likes of being analysts, although JT, please don't make them all AHLers, please. No American hockey players. I know there's got to be some right wingers out there in the States there that are a little bit higher than the American League. Okay.
Or lower.
Yeah, or lower. That's true. All right, we're just going to shoot in here. It's our Four Nations American team that is set for February. Before we do that, we're just going to go over our Canadian starting lineup. George chose Aiden Hill to start in net. Phil, I believe you have Cal Mahar and Devin Tays on defense. Our left winger would be Zach Hyman. Our right winger is none other than Mitch Marner. And our center, Connor McDavid. All right, guys. Let's see if we can build an American team to rival that. We're going to start with you, George, from the net out.
Okay, well, as you know, there was a pretty hard pick out there. There's a lot of American goalies that are really big names out there. So these are my picks, and this is why I did it. And I'll start with my third. My third is Jeremy Swayman, and it's because I don't like the Boston team. I don't like the Boston fans. I'm just going to say Jeremy Swayman for my third goalie pick. Now, my second goalie pick, I do appreciate this guy, and I think he would be a great pickup for our team. We're going to go with Connor Hellebuyck. He is a good goalie. I think he's really good, and I wish that we could pick him up.
Yeah. So
now my first line goalie will be Wool. Wool from Toronto Maple Leafs. I hope for him to be as good as the other two. I hope he gets some good ice time and it stays healthy, but not during these games. I hope he gets healthy and ready for NHL season, and he turns into better than the other two.
You know what? If I have to say, guys, if Joseph Woll is our starting goalie, that really bodes well for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm excited with that prospect happening. Thank you so much, George. Okay, Phil, you're our defense guy. Let's hear our top six and why we're picking number 1 and number 2.
Well, the Americans, out of their first 6 players named to the team, they named 3 defensemen right off the bat. And I'm going to go opposite of George. I'm going to go from top to bottom. They got Quinn Hughes. If Quinn Hughes isn't your number one, and we just watch what he did on Vancouver all year, it goes to that thing. Like, that's your number one defenseman all day on your power play. I don't care who his partner is, but that's your number one defenseman. Adam Fox they named as well from the Rangers. Now, Quinn Hughes is a 5-time USA representative. Adam Fox has been on a USA team 4 times. And, I mean, you can't go wrong with Charlie McAvoy from Boston. Yes, George, I agree. We don't like Boston. I don't like Charlie McAvoy. But it goes without saying that he's a good defenseman. Now, going with the balance, you know what I mean? I did the same homework. I went to NHL.com. I went to Bleacher Report. I went to the Hockey News. Naturally, a lot of the same names. Some of the pairings are different, where they've got Werenski with McAvoy, Hannafin, and John Carlson from Washington. Hockey News had Justin Falk, Jake Sanderson from Ottawa. You know what I mean? There's obviously a bunch of different names out there. Shane Gostisbehere from Detroit. Jacob Slavin from Carolina. These are all top-notch defensemen. Again, it's the same as Canada. A lot of these guys aren't going to be getting named until more than halfway through the NHL season. It's how they perform. It's if they're healthy. So I believe that I probably will be Werenski, Carlson, and Hannafin with Hughes, Fox, and McAvoy.
Yeah, that's a tough defense. I hope well, Canada is very talented as well. So, but that's one heck of a defense, I have to admit, guys.
Sure is.
All right, Gore, we're going to move on to you and our left wingers.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go from top to bottom. I think you've got probably Matthew Tkachuk, then Kyle Connor. You've got possibility of Brady Tkachuk in there, and you definitely cannot discount Matthew Nyes from being in there.
Love it.
You've also got Chris Kreider from New York as a possibility. There's umpteen number of possibilities in that aspect. Again, like Phil said, it'll depend on who's healthy, but I think if you're going to take the 4, you got to go with pretty much the 4 that's healthiest and that can play hard. So I think the Tkachuk brothers, definitely for sure, Kyle Connor and Matthew Nyes would be my 4.
Yeah, I like that as well. I'm sure everyone does. If Matthew Nyes is playing with Austin Matthews this season, he very well could be seeing these games. And again, it bodes very well. So thank you for picking a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Love it.
And
Yes.
we're going to move to Mr. Thunder Bay himself, JT, with our right winger from the American team.
First I'm gonna pick a little boy named Michael. He plays 12 AA. No, just kidding. I unfortunately don't have any Leafs on my 4-guy roster here.
That's okay.
Yeah, I have Tage Thompson on my 4th line. The guy's big. He moves. He's fast. He's just an all-around guy, and he can play both ends of that ice. All 4 of my guys here are two-way wingers that don't just sit up and kick. 3rd line is going to be DeBernacat, Alex. He's had solid years. Same thing though. He needs to stay healthy. You hope that he would. 2nd line is a friend of Mr. Matthews. I'm pretty sure is Keller from the
Very
Yotes.
good friends.
Yeah. So I think Matthews obviously going to be highlighting this team of theirs. I'm thinking. So, yeah, you'd almost have to have that guy in there as a winger, and whether he plays on a 1st or a 2nd line or pairs up with Matthews or not, that would have to be seen. But I could see possibly a Matthews, Nyes, Keller line, going around. At number 1 line, I'm sorry, but is Brock Besser. That guy, I love the guy. I do. I don't know what it is about him. I don't know what it is about his game. He's that guy. In my opinion,
there was once a rumor of Brock Besser getting traded out of Vancouver, and I know I was holding my breath in hopes of him landing in Toronto for sure. So
yeah.
There's that's a good right wing. So your number 1 would be Brock Besser. Let's just recap it a little bit. Our number 1 goalie is Joseph Woll. Our number 1 and 2 defense. Phil, could you name them again, please?
Adam Fox and Quinn Hughes.
Our number 1 left winger, I believe, is Matthew Tkachuk. Our number 1 right winger is Brock Besser, and we already know who our number 1 center is. And I mean, this is why we're doing this anyway. But okay, our newly named Greener, minted Greener. Apparently, he's had a long time. His last name is involved in that, and that's why he's named that. Not for the color of the team.
No.
Anyway, Ian, let's have your picks.
First of all, guys, inspired choices. I love that you guys chose Wall and Nyes. I think those are inspired choices. Again, I think the 4 is obvious. I would start with 4 and come up, but obviously we know Matthews is number 1. I don't think that's you can't. It's Matthews. The number 2, I put Jack Hughes. I think we've only begun to see what this young man can do. There are sexier names than him, maybe like Eichel, who I have it on number 3, and JT Miller at 4. But I really think Jack Hughes up in the 2 slot is really going to show something. And I hate it because this team is really good. From top to bottom, really good. I hate it.
Well, there's argument for all 3 of the Hughes brothers actually making the team. Luke Hughes as well from New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
who is our
and
number
why wouldn't
3?
you?
Pardon me?
I was gonna say, and why wouldn't you put all three of the brothers on there, right? Like,
Yeah.
that chemistry.
That could be a good that could be a good 3-player tandem going on there with them.
Well, we all know how it feels when they play in Toronto.
Yeah. Right. And listen, we're all brothers here. We always play a little bit taller when our brother's playing with us.
Absolutely.
So anyway, number 3, as I said, I have Eichel. I have and JT Miller at 4. I think those 2 are interchangeable. I think what JT Miller did this year with Vancouver was pretty incredible. So those 2 are interchangeable for me.
Awesome, thank you. So we got Austin Matthews. Oh, let's go from the goalie out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Joseph Woll. Then our defense are Quinn Hughes and I'm sorry.
Adam Fox.
Adam Fox. I don't know why I keep forgetting that one because he was a Norris Trophy candidate his first year. Our starting center is Austin Matthews. Our starting right winger would be Brock Besser. And our starting left winger would be Matthew Tkachuk. Now, guys.
Wow.
Now, hearing that team, does that rival, we'll start with you, Ian, and just move around the room. Does it rival what we have here in Canada?
I believe it does. And I think the difference is that we are not the goaltending powerhouse we once were.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. If we did have a true number 1 Canadian goalie again, I think we would have the edge. But stacking up these teams, these are 2 very exciting teams. I mean, Canada and United States. I love hockey, so I love good hockey. And I think the team that we've amassed here for that American team is going to be amazing.
Yeah. George, your opinion?
Well, like I said, there's a lot of and like Ian was saying, that there's a lot of good goalies in the States. I could have changed my lineup, but I put Wall up front. I don't like Swayman and his chest bumps with Hallman there. So that could be changed to Swayman, Hallebuck, and Wall.
Yes.
But I like Wall.
Hey guys, is it possible we get the chest pumps from Allmark and Swayman this year? Likely, right?
But anyways, I do believe we will be a top contender in this game.
Yes.
Yeah. Gord, your opinion on this, please, sir.
Gord is muted right now.
Yeah, he's muted. So we'll go to you, JT.
My opinion on their team.
On the 2 teams.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it comes down to goaltending. And I do believe that the U.S. has that edge on us. When you go on our lines, they've got Matthews, absolutely monster. We've got McDavid, absolute monster. I mean, these times, both teams kind of line up all the way through defensively, offensively. it comes down to what's between those pipes and who's going to stand on whose head. I honestly think that's what it's going to come down to, because it's going to be a lot of run and gun and just open end. There's going to be a lot of shit flying around.
Yes,
So,
sure will. Yeah.
And Phil, your opinion?
Obviously, it's going to come down to matchups, right? It's going to come down to who's on the ice at that one time. Sure, they might have the edge in goaltending. They have one heck of
Aiden Hill's pretty good.
of a goal scorer in Matthews. I agree, man. We've got some good goaltenders as well. It's a very fast game, boys, and anything can happen at any time. You know what I mean? When you're going up against McDavid and Crosby and McKinnon, you can be the best goalie in two worlds, and it's not going to matter. They're going to pick you apart. They're going to find holes, whatever, right? I personally think, now we're talking about two NHL caliber teams, all-star teams for both countries. It can go anyway in a heartbeat. It's an all-star game, you know what I mean? But when it comes right down to it, I still believe that it's Canada's game.
Yes.
Okay, well, Gordon seems to be busy here. So
No, I'm not
Gordon's
busy.
back.
I'm back.
All right, we're gonna let you have chime in here. Who do you feel has a better team, and why? The Americans or Team Canada?
That's a hard one, to be honest with you, because I think overall both teams' different aspects are better in different categories. I mean, it's really going to come down to Canada and the Americans, anyways. I feel overall, but I think if I have to say it right off the bat, I would say the Americans have an overall better team right now, but it also depends on who's healthy.
Definitely. Okay, guys. Next time we're on here, we're going to dedicate the whole show just to picking Team Sweden and Team Finland. So just to give you guys a bit of an update on what we're going to do next time around. But today, we're going to start with Phil and just work around and just name your 1 to 4. Where do you think teams are going to finish here?
Wow. Whew. Jesus. Oh, man. We'll start with number 4. I think that I think Finland might get left in a little bit in the lurch here. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's fantastic players on all these teams, but I'm going to go Finland, Sweden, the U.S., and Canada because it's our game. I already said that. Canada's game.
You got a point there. Ian, your turn.
Well, I'll tell you, I do think Canada's going to win. I think when we got Sidney Crosby on the ice, never underestimate that guy. I can really see us playing Sweden in the final. So I'm going to go Canada, Sweden, United States, and Finland.
Thanks for changing it up a bit. George.
Well, with Crosby on there, McDavid on there, Aiden Hill between the pipes, we're going Canada, the States, Sweden, Finland.
Yep.
JT.
Well, Canada is I do believe Canada is just too big, too fast. It's gonna come down to that goaltending issue. But we have Aiden there too. So I mean, it's all over the place with that. I honestly think that the U.S. aren't going to be able to get through Sweden. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's going to be Canada, Sweden, U.S., Finland. I don't know why Finland's even going to be there. I'm just hoping they don't look silly. That's all.
Right.
And Gord, your lineup, your predictions.
I'm going with Canada winning it. I still think it's probably going to be Canada and the U.S. Sweden and then Finland for sure. I can see if there's a game between the U.S. and Sweden that may be a really, really good game just to sit back and watch and see what goes on there. Because I think, again, Sweden, you can't rule them out.
No way. No, you can't. And their team's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no one's picking the States to win this. We're all sticking Canada.
No way.
Okay. So anyway, we're on our last 10 minutes already, boys. I can't believe this.
Wow.
But we're going to talk a little bit about this trade rumor that I heard that I think is actually legit trade rumor. I kind of like it. And then we're going to talk about that championship and some of the things that Phil has in that room that he's in. I don't know if he
Yeah.
broke in somewhere or robbed someone. I don't know. But
Canada's bringing home the belt, boys.
yeah, there you go. Okay, the trade rumor that I am hearing that I'm actually kind of excited for. Would everyone knows Nick Robertson has asked for a trade, but it would include parts of Nick Robertson, Kelly Yarncroc, possibly Timothy Liljegren or Connor Timmins, and possibly a prospect. But in return, we receive Patrick Laine out of Columbus and a prospect or another player. How does everyone feel about this? We'll start with you, George.
Laine, I mean, he's a good player, but we're giving up a lot of players for this one guy and a prospect. Robertson, Yarncroc, I could give away Timmins. That's a no-brainer. But let's yeah, I think I want a little bit more for 4 players.
Yeah, well, I do want to add that unfortunately Greener tapped out on us here, but I do want to add that it would be money retention on the Laine contract, and that's why the extra prospect. Okay. Phil, your opinion on this?
I believe that everyone deserves a second chance. Patrick Laine came into the league on fire. He has recently had some personal issues that he went into the player assist program. He is going to come out of that. He's going to come out of that better. He's going to come out of that stronger. You put him onto a team in a market that cares about performance, and I believe that he can go back to his 40, 50 goals a year. You put him on a power play with Matthews, good God, those shots coming from either side of the ice.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. JT.
What are we at here? What are we asking?
Oh, yes. Laine and a player or prospect.
Yeah, I still say, what are we asking? So
they want Nick Robertson.
I know. I'm being sarcastic. So Laine, like Phil has said, his first year in, I think as an 18-year-old, he's second highest scorer 18-year-old in NHL history. The guy was an absolute monster on his first year in. He had a good year. He argued and debated why he was second to Austin Matthews.
Yep.
So I don't think that was an argument. I think that Matthews was obviously the far better player, but Laine came in on fire, but he's full of him. He's really full of himself, and I think he was his own demise. If they've got that in check, which I think is what has happened now with this player assistance program, I think they've got a lot of him in check, and I think he may have himself in check. If that's that case, I think that guy is a monster if he comes back.
I agree. Monster. He only had 18 games in last year, boys. 6 goals and 3 assists.
Not bad.
Ian, we're going to move to you.
You froze as you were about to say the rumor. So it's Laine and a prospect for who?
For Nick Robertson, Kelly Yarncroc, possibly either Liljegren or Timmins, and a prospect, possibly Minton, they said.
Okay, I'd hate to lose Minton, but for a player like Laine, you got to swing big. And him on the half boards, being fed up with that one time, that's really appealing. And like JT said, if he's sort of matured a little bit, and certainly when you're knocked down into the gutter, that can do it. I'd take him on in a heartbeat. I don't think this is a reclamation project as big as some others.
I agree. And the kicker there, if we could get him at, say, 50%, that's a $5 million player. That's an upgrade from Tyler Bertuzzi, right?
It sure is. It sure is.
Gord, your opinion, you're the last one up here.
Well, I think Phil said it perfectly when he said that every player deserves a second chance. Take a look at Kane in Edmonton.
Yeah.
They rectified him in San Jose there. Absolutely just destroyed him for everything that went on. And look how well he played.
Yeah.
Can you picture Matthews? You got William Nylander, Mitch Marner with Laine.
Power play number 1, unreal.
And
Yeah.
where is the shot coming from? You're not
Right.
going to know. That I think that would at 50% salary retention.
That's
I don't think you can go wrong depending on
No.
who the prospect is that they're asking for
Yeah.
in return, honestly. Because I
Well-
think there's some that they're not willing to part with, and then there's others that
yes. Yeah.
they
Definitely
may
not
be willing
Easton
to.
Cowan, but I would at 50% retention, I would add Minton to that trade,
Yes.
and
I
hopefully
don't-
that we get
I
a
think
valuable
Cowan would be
player
the
with.
only. Yeah, I think Cowan would be the only one that they would definitely say that's a no-go, but
Yeah.
I think Minton wouldn't be the end of the world. I think it would definitely boost the lines up as we go.
Yeah,
I mean, you put JT with line A line there, really and truly, you can move everybody around as you go.
Exciting.
And I mean, their power play, they're going to have a first and a second power play that you can mix up at any point, throw a
Yes.
player here, throw a player
Yes.
there.
Yes.
It's kind of crazy to think that wouldn't be an opportunity just to jump at overall, honestly.
I agree. Okay, Phil, this is your turn. We got 3 minutes here. You got to leave me a minute to sign up, but show me some of the stuff in this room.
So I broke into Eric's basement in Bowmanville. He's actually the president of my baseball league and a teammate, dear friend. And he is a wrestling freak. So here we have, if I can turn my camera around, here we have the WWE World Heavyweight Champion replica belt.
Wow.
Over here, we've got the ECW Championship Authentic. This thing weighs, I'm not even kidding you, like I'm struggling to pick that up with one
Amazing.
hand.
What
That-
is it,
that's-
like 25 pounds?
It's got it's got to be at least like 30, 35 pounds.
ECW was extreme wrestling, so I wouldn't be surprised.
So this one here is the WCW Lance Storm Canadian Heavyweight Championship belt. Beautiful.
Hardcore Lance Storm.
And we've got the WWE World Wrestling Championship.
With Wayne Gretzky behind him.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, this guy's got a Mick Foley style
Whoa.
autograph pro wrestling. He is an absolute sports fan. He's a Generals season ticket holder. So he's got the championship way. He's got the CHL autographed. I think it's an All-Star jersey.
Cool.
Yeah, that looks like an all-star jersey.
Yeah.
But this guy,
Oh,
this guy's got a little bit of everything in
Yeah.
here.
A sport.
Apparently, he's a
Sports
Canadians fan too. Kind of makes me feel dirty for being in here. But
why has he got a toilet seat there? I'm
well,
just
look at
kidding.
this one. Look at this one over here.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
That's our,
You had to ruin it, didn't you?
Tell Eric I still like him.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much on that note. Get that Boston thing up there.
That's
Show
right.
some Leaf stuff as we go out
That
here.
one's better.
Let's do some roll call around. Thank you.
There you go,
Thank you.
JT. That's better.
All right, we're in our last
That's
minute.
the
George from Calgary, JT from Thunder Bay, Gore from Toronto, Greener from Nova Scotia, and Phil, he's in Bowmanville today. He rat himself out. Okay, guys, have a great day. I'm Ken from Ken's Corner. We're on Sports Chatter. We'll see you back next week. Sweden and Finland's team next week, guys. Have a good
Absolutely.
Have a great week, boys.
Have a good one, guys.
Cheers, my man. Have a good one, boys.
See ya.
Right.